Welcome into the Chop and Beef Show. That's all I got. I don't have anything else. What's
you
up,
got more than that.
Hey, at least you brought the excitement. There
you
you
have
go.
more than that. We know you have more than that.
That was all. That was like all my excitement for the day, all wrapped up into one fell swoop. If you're not watching with us, it's the Deshaun Watson show on the Chop and Beef Show. Locks
big
has a
night.
shirt that he only wears indoors, and I have my Deshaun Watson Cleveland Browns shirt that I only wear indoors. But somehow we're broadcasting nationwide, coast to coast, belly to belly,
And some international.
We do have a recent Kuwaiti checked in on the Chop and Beef Show. So
Yes.
Moon Pie or Moon. What the fuck was his name?
Milky Way.
Milky Way. That was it.
That was Lox's favorite or the biggest fan.
He's our favorite fan.
Yeah.
Love
yeah.
it.
Haven't heard from him in a while. I gotta check in sometime soon.
Yeah, I hope he's doing okay.
My guess is he blew himself up.
There's a lot of strife over there.
Strife is one way to put it. Strife.
Hope Milky's doing just fine.
Yay, Milks.
Heck of a name too. I mean, you think that's God given?
Probably. I mean, I haven't checked Locke's Facebook page in a solid year or two. I'll head that up and see if we got some new friends. Yeah, that was a hot commodity there for a hot minute.
What's going on, JJ? What's going on in Tampa, guy?
We should have sent him a Chop and Beef T-shirt. Do we have any of those yet?
Yeah, we got them. They're on backwater.
Oh, okay, good. Well, let's see.
His cousin's making them in Kuwait next door.
He had the Chop and Beef Show #1 rated podcast in all the land, and then the ratings came out. So it's like the Super Bowl when the Super Bowl loser shirts, basically it's some East Asian country. And
it's Chop and Beef. What is this? A restaurant? Shut up.
There's a picture of a cat on it or something.
What's up? My toe got tarred. My car got towed Thursday. I'm still in suspense.
I literally thought we were talking about your toe to start with.
I was about to too. I was like,
my Jeep got towed that was legally parked Thursday night.
Oh. Yeah, is that on the list? That's a
legally or illegally?
That's what happened. And just say the least, I may have gotten into an altercation with the tow truck driver at about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and didn't get home till 5:30.
Sober?
That's debatable.
Okay, so that's a no.
But I'd say at least that when you find your car like not in the spot you parked it at, and you think, well, I know I don't have stealth mode or invisibility, you get a little upset.
So it was parked legal or illegal?
Legal. It was
so
parked.
How did you find out it was towed?
Huh?
How did you find out it was towed then? How did you know?
Well, because it is a tow area, but there's certain times, and we figured it got towed around 2 to 2:15.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I was still out then on Thursday, and it was gone, and it said cars will be towed by 8 a.m. And it's just like, where the fuck's my car?
Yeah,
and they also towed 2 other customers. So the manager of the cigar bar is thoroughly pissed.
So like you didn't have to pay for this?
I did, but I am going to be reimbursed.
By the cigar bar or the city?
Well, here's the thing. The manager, who's a good guy, Frank, who runs the cigar bar, also used to be a cop in in Newark, New Jersey.
God bless.
He's tough
alive?
Guy. He's a tough guy.
He's seen some things.
And his nickname's TikTok, which means his fuse is very quick.
It's not because he scrolls a lot. Huh?
He doesn't like the app.
Yeah, no, not the app. So
he's not Chinese.
He no Chinese, and so we're getting to the bottom of it. A lot of people were not happy because they basically just charged. They basically made about $600 on 3 cars.
Yeah, that's not cheap. Not to mention the hassle.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
So
you work
And
in your
trying to find a
house.
tow truck driver drunk. That's not good.
Well, like I said, fortunately, you work in your house. Think about those people that probably had to go somewhere that Friday morning, like, and didn't have a mode of transport.
First and foremost, I don't care about them. Okay,
Oh,
it's all
right.
about
This
me.
is a selfish thing. Yeah.
We're back.
It's-
We're back.
It's all about my needs.
Wait, there was others. There's other cars. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there was no. Well, actually, both of them were friends of mine, so it was like, oh. So anyway, that was it.
Getting an Uber together, and you go to that glorious tow yard that I've been to before in Tampa as well.
They did not want to go with me. They wanted to go home and kind of get some sleep. But by that time, I was
quote unquote sober up.
I was full flaming pissed because I had to walk home, go get money because they wouldn't take a credit card.
Oh yeah, no, it's cash.
It's cash.
Really?
Get an Uber, drive there. Casey, you know the area, North Florida Avenue. Very
that's
safe,
where my car was.
very safe for a Caucasian in the middle of the night. And yeah.
You didn't walk up there.
No, I got the Uber up there, but I walked to my house, which, my fat ass walking 12 blocks was just uncalled for.
It's unacceptable, really. Unacceptable.
It really is. It is bad for my health and not appropriate.
That's a great way to start the show, I'll be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
thinking,
JJ in Tampa gets it right in the ass. That's something new and different.
I'm smelling a class action lawsuit, or
It's
at
called
least
pegging.
some sort of at least sternly worded letter, as we like to say, right?
The guys who told me, and the guy I got an altercation with, I don't think they could have read the letter that I would send. Okay.
Brian Jackson checks in with Daytona memories.
Did we get towed in Daytona?
We didn't, but we might as well have.
We got a couple walking.
Remember we got in that
areas.
It's so funny. No, it wasn't even a bad area, but we got into a back of a Toyota 4Runner or something. Toyota Tundra, right? Remember that? We jumped in the back of these people's trucks. And we're driving along they're driving us down to, oh yeah, we did walk. We did walk to like Target or something. And
yeah, we walked to Target.
Eddie twisted his ankle. It blew up to the size of my head. It was huge. But we get into the at a traffic light, and the cop leans over. He's like, "Hey, where are you guys going?" We're like, "Oh, we're going to Dave's campground up here." Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Eddie Lockett, for the Toyota Tacoma. Thank you.
Thanks.
And the guy goes, "Woo, you guys stayed down there?" And I said, "Yeah, we were there for a night. We had a blast. A lot of fun people." He's like, "Ooh, y'all be careful down there."
Yeah, good times.
Feels good.
It was, but we were leaving.
We had a great time
that night.
But now, Locks went to paradise.
I love that segue.
I think, and Beef, I think you think that we also went to Aruba ourselves.
We had a little short trip. It felt like a
nice little jaunt.
A nice little jaunt, not too much, not over the top.
We didn't overexert ourselves with a lot of pictures and images.
I was not overwhelmed with our trip. I
was not overwhelmed. Very just easy flow, very nice. But Locks, you tell us. I enjoyed your picks.
I
enjoyed our trip too, Locke.
Yeah.
But this is JJ and I right now. This isn't about you.
Yeah. Did you like the beaches and the rocks on the beaches?
Brian Jackson checks in and says, Jeff and I walked through Daytona trying to find his card. Oh, yeah.
It was at the Bootleg Saloon still. Anyway, but the four-wheeling, the food,
you got...
That was our big excursion. So
Locks went to paradise.
Right. It's debatable.
Well, let's preface it by saying you don't like anything,
right,
or anyone.
Yes.
All right. So then now go on with your story. Apparently, first thing you saw was some payphones.
No, that was on the way back. Remember?
That's last day.
That was in the Miami airport. That was
Miami
airport.
Bad host.
Yeah, bad host. You got all out of
I'm
sequence,
all jumbled. I just follow what Jeff writes on paper.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, and there's the one thing in there I don't know what he's talking about, but anyway, so our big excursion while we were there is we're staying on the resort strip, area, and it's a Marriott Renaissance hotel. It had a pool. It's nice and it overlooks the water. It's beautiful. It's where I did my video from, for Jeff. So it's nice, and there's palm trees, everything, and you think this is paradise.
Yeah.
Right.
Anybody ever seen the show like Narcos on Netflix?
Yeah.
Are we playing that game again that we played last week? Because the answer is no.
No. Okay. I'm just trying to think of any like
is
third world
this
Mexican country.
Drug lord?
So we get picked up.
By drug lords?
This is all kind of one big story. So about the excursion that we did, which was a 4-hour tour.
Good dope.
A 4-hour tour, like a side by side, like those, rednecks riding around in the mud and shit like that.
Yeah, mudders.
So they come and pick us up in this bus, okay? And the bus is like a party bus type of thing. It's fun. And they picked us up at the hotel, and the music's all loud, and it's got stuff written all over the side about the tour group. It's just kind of like, look at me, come on our tour. So the guy picks us up. It's loud as shit. It's fun, but he's playing like rap music or hip hop, whatever. And so we start driving down the strip where the hotels are, and then we turn off of the main road. And things go from about right here to like here drastically.
Like third world toilet, huh?
Holy shit. There's so many, I don't even know how you explain it. There's so many like construction projects that had started and not been finished. Just general like shanty looking places. Like I mean, when we got to our place we were going to, which was actually like a go-kart track, that was like they just made it type of thing. I took a screenshot on my Maps app so I would know where I was if I had to somehow get back there or get away from there. One of those two. I didn't know what was happening at the time. It was pretty sketchy. So,
is that the resort or is this the 4-wheel experience?
That's the 4-wheel experience. It's about 4 blocks off of the main drag, like I said, where all the hotels are.
That sounds fantastic.
So, preface it, like I said, the guy picked us up in the loud vehicle. So we're sitting in there waiting on the rest of our folks to get there because they'll pick you up at wherever you are, or you meet at this one spot and then they pick you all up. Anyhow, more people are coming in. You have to sign. We prepaid for the thing. You have to sign you have to pay for a $25 insurance waiver, and it's a claim form you have to read through. Okay, whatever. What could happen? What could happen, right? You guys know the foreshadowing to the story that's going to come. Then you go to the next counter. You have to buy a buff, like for Survivor, or like a gator, like we had during COVID, because you're going to be riding for 4 hours through. We didn't really know what, but it turned out to be like desert. It was just sand, dust, rock, crazy.
Fantastic.
So we buy those, and then they're trying to sell us goggles, like ski goggles, like big time goggles. Yeah, and I was like, hey, I got sunglasses, and those are $20. Of course, my son didn't bring his sunglasses. There goes $20. Bought
and
them goggles.
Sand's all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because they were like, you're really going to want something on your eyes. But anyway, so pay for all that. And in comes a guy that had just gotten picked up. Okay. And he's just louder than everyone else. And we're just going to call him that guy. I don't even know his name, but there's always that guy in the group. No, not you at all. There's just always a guy.
Ugly American.
It's just, he can be like the guy that's in your college class that,
too much.
He's always just dragging things out. He's just being a general pain in the ass. And he was just that guy. He's complaining that when his family got picked up, that the bus driver had the music up too loud. So, and his bus driver was going to be his tour guide, and he didn't like that, and he wanted it his way. So, guess whose group he got moved to? Our group. Yeah.
I love this.
And our guy that picked us up was cool. His name was Joe, and he's like, buddy, man, hey, guys. He's a big, and he was a big vibes guy. He kept saying, I want big vibes,
he had the good dope.
Yeah, he probably did. But he was just trying to kind of keep it lively. He's like, you want a good tour? You want a bad tour? You tell me. We'll do either. So I could get this tour done in 3 hours, or we could do a 4.5. He was a good guy. So poor tour guide Joe gets stuck with numbnuts guy, that's complaining already. So we end up.
We'll call him numbnuts.
Yeah,
I like numbnuts. Numbnuts is a good call.
Okay, so we're in a caravan. Joe is in front, tour guide Joe, and there's about, I want to say 8 other vehicles, side by sides, and then there was one 4-wheeler in the back. And it's just like, go. And you take off, and you're literally on the streets.
You're driving.
I'm driving.
Okay.
Beth next to me, 2 kids behind me.
All right.
And it's open air, and it's like a big you know what I'm talking about, side by side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're great.
The shocks and everything, because I never driven one, whatever. But we were going 55 kilometers per hour, which is like 37 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's nothing.
It's something when you don't have a windshield, you don't know where you're going, and you're in Hood, Mexico.
What do you think you do in a golf cart?
Not that. Casey's goes 27. I've been in it. You were too.
Yeah.
Anyway, we drive for a while, park, look at like something, and then the guy is like, all right, the next part is there really is like a mountain. It's only like 600 feet tall, but we climbed up the mountain. He said it's going to be the toughest part of the climb. So we climb up it and we climb down, and Numbnuts is in the car in front of us. Numbnuts' son is driving. He's not like just going gas pedal. He's spinning tires, all this shit, and I'm just trying to not flip the thing, okay? Because we're going like up pretty high and coming down pretty low. Coming down, and all of a sudden, I wasn't looking at him because I was looking at the road, but Beth said something just happened. He hit his head. I don't know what happened.
Numbnuts did?
Uh-huh. Blasted his head on the post because Beth's like, he didn't have his seatbelt on. Turns out, after a little bit of investigation, his seatbelt broke, and he split his head, whole eyebrow across. This is about 2 hours into the trip.
Don't care. That's great.
I mean, it's blowing up. Like, he's swollen over, like down, like, and it's
bleeding.
Oh, like big time, like needs stitches. And we're in the middle of nowhere at that point, like literally nowhere. Cell phones don't work.
Do you have a shirt on?
Yeah.
Tied around his head.
Oh, he had a towel. He had it on.
Yeah,
but
he's
it was
fine.
Excuse me, but it was pretty bad. But he bleeding pretty good. But Joe said, he's like, if you get lost, if anything happens, whatever, he's like, you just stop. He's like, I check my rear view. He's like, I'll see you're not there, and I'll come around and get you. What does his son do? We don't know what happened.
You saw it.
No, he just waved us on, and so we all just went right around Numbnuts' his car and kept on going. And finally, Joe like counted, like, okay, I'm missing somebody. Then we all had to stop. He had to go back and get the guy. This is just like he's just being a general chore,
Well,
so you get to the next stop,
man.
Well, he gets to the next stop, and Numbnuts and him are having a private conversation on the side about you could hear him talking about the damage waiver, the wanting to get, I don't know, compensation. And I could hear Joe go, yeah, we can take you back, and you can look at the waiver. It clearly says we are not liable for anything, any injury, any blah 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 blah, but we'll be happy to take you back to the the racetrack and get you on your way.
Good.
Kind of like, get the fuck out of here. So they just kind of went along. We're still going from place to place, but it just kind of, the mood just dropped, like, oh boy, here we go. Get to the second to last stop, okay? And it's beautiful. We're up on top. There's a lighthouse, and you're looking down on one of the two beaches on the island. Mm-hmm. And it's a real big beach. It's just beautiful, blue water, everything. Yeah. And so that's where we're going to end the trip. He's like, you're going to have about a half hour down there. And it's busy. It's a very busy beach, but it's fine. There's still room. He's
hot rods?
It's just families. And he's like, but we'll park down there. You guys can enjoy about a half hour. Okay, cool. Go down there.
We'll have broads on Aruba Beach?
We're driving down, and you can hear an ambulance. And I was like, well, that's weird. I haven't heard an ambulance on the island. And I had just looked before. There's one hospital on the island. That's where Numbnuts is going to have to go get stitched up at. Pull up in our side-by-side, park, start walking toward the beach. Ambulance is parked. Here comes police. 2 cars. They park. I was like, oh boy. So we're walking kind of past it, and we're walking down, and you look, and here they come up with a dead body. A guy had a heart attack and drowned in the water, and they were on the beach trying to revive him when we were riding down. Yeah, and that's
fun.
And
the whole time we were there, it was 20 plus mile per hour breeze across the island. And you get on the beach, it's probably even more. Try and keep a sheet on a stretcher and a dead body. And there's just kids everywhere, and it's a different culture. They're not too worried about it, but it's just like a dead dude. I'm like, let's go this way. Come on. And Joe's like, man, he's like, it's just bad vibes from the start, man. That guy, he's talking about nonsense.
Do you think the guy wanted to die? You think the guy wanted to die in his house in Brooklyn or Iowa, or he got to die in Aruba on a beach? That's not a bad way to go.
I know. Well, I guess it was spread through the crowd. I guess he had heart trouble and just chest pains on the beach earlier, and just decided to go for a swim and have a heart attack in the water.
If it's your time.
Yeah.
But talk about a mess for your family trying to get you,
All right. Yeah. So the most important part about the trip.
Wow.
Did you hook up?
Hey, how was your break? Did you hook up?
Did you hook up?
The other part.
You have 2 rooms, one for the kids, one for you.
Chapter 2.
Aruba is still very COVID scared. Okay.
So wear a condom.
My wife shows up with a serious sinus infection that turned into like a respiratory problem, and everywhere we're going, she's coughing. And if you go to the doctor, they're going to be like, COVID test, you're stuck in your room for 48 hours quarantine. So like we couldn't get any medicine. There was like, we tried to go to like a grocery store, and dude, the grocery store was like, the kids were like, I'm not going in there. Like it was just like, it was bad. There was no like, Sudafed or Mucinex to get in Aruba. It was a little sketchy, but yeah. So we did it. We survived. It was fun. It was good times. It's just it's a different experience once you get off the strip. That's for sure. It was.
Well, that's great. We're glad I can't wait to hear where you go next year, so that we can tag along
United
again.
States.
All right.
Maybe Hiroshima. See where the bomb dropped.
Speaking of bombs dropping, my favorite part of the trip was when you encountered our friend that we dubbed Anthony. Anthony at the pool.
Joe.
Yeah,
another Joe.
Joe was good vibes, so we're gonna switch it. I was gonna go Joe, but Joe's good vibes, and this Anthony was another one of those guys. That guy, the one your mom says, don't be that guy. That's him, right? He was there at the pool.
His entertainment, yes, very big Italian, smoking cigs. Had the necklace with the big medallion.
Did he have the horn? Did he have the horn?
I didn't get that close to see, but I mean, it was a solid medallion here. Putting suntan lotion on his wife's butt. Just loud.
Of course.
Just loud.
Hey.
Everybody, and he's just drinking the drinks like.
Hey, honey, let me get that on that shit box.
Yeah.
Hey, Casey does it better.
There's a whirlpool.
Because it's my people.
There's a whirlpool, and there's just going over to talking to these kids. And
what you doing over here? You's having a good time. You want a beer? You can't have a beer.
I couldn't.
You gotta post that pic. You gotta post it on the.
I mean, I got a family that looks like that. I mean, come on.
That's Joe Rocco Ragatino.
Smoking cigs. It was great. It was. I couldn't. I was trying to read a magazine article, and I just couldn't even focus. I was just kind of like pretending. So that's when I was like trying to take the pictures of.
It's so good too when there's people like that. Like the people watching. If the people watching is on. On a 10, it's just so much fun. You can't read a thing. Like you have to keep it up because you're gonna eventually get caught when Joe turns around and looks and catches eyes with you, and now you're in trouble. Not like he's gonna kick your ass. No, he's gonna say, "Hey, you want some dope? Hey, you and me, let's go get some Zambuca. We'll get a couple 2-3 coffee things in there and coffee beans like my mama used to make. We'll get you a couple Zambuca, no face. No taking no shot of you, no making no face." And then you're stuck. Yeah. And then you're like, hey, and you're gonna be like fake nice to Joe, and you're like, hey, yeah, I definitely want extra Anaze in my drink. Do you have any limoncello vodka there in the back?
Hey, pal, you meat gazing over there? What the fuck's going on?
Hey, take a picture. It'll last longer. Oh.
Quit speaking into the mic. You're fucking rude.
You're resonating in the mic. You're smithing it so hard.
Hey.
This guy is like
I gotta turn it down.
This guy walked by. And he just looked like a normal dude. He didn't look like Italian at all. He just had darker hair. He's like, "Oh, where are you from? He's like, are you my people? And the guy's like, what? he's like, where are you from, man? I'm Italian. He goes, Czechoslovakia. He's like, oh, just your skin tone. You look Italian. Just I'm from New York. He's telling everybody. It was great. The guy's like, Czechoslovakia.
I thought he was gonna be like, I'm
Prague,
from Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah, white as I could be. Yeah. It was fun.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It was classic.
That's
That was
great.
that was a highlight too, for sure. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
God.
Well, there it is. That's the whole show. It just locks his vacation.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to take up too much time for sure.
Joe the Dago.
No, it was
It's good stuff.
Kidding me?
It begs the question, because we were talking about it the other day, and you asked before we went on the show in our pre-show meeting about if JJ and I had been to the Caribbean before.
Yeah.
And I said that I've been on a cruise before and went to the Caribbean, and the water was so dang blue and the sand was coarse, but it was still really white sand, and it was really, really nice. And JJ said he was at like Kitts or something. I don't know. He said something. I wasn't really listening, but he was somewhere that he wouldn't want to come back to. It begs the question that I forgot, actually. It begs the question that I don't remember what I was going to ask.
Yeah. I've never been on a cruise. I don't plan on going on either.
It sucks. Cruises suck.
Cruises are fantastic. I can't imagine if I went with someone I actually liked.
There'd be problems.
See, that was my issue.
There'd be problems though. Like it's like, so I get bored because I go stir crazy, and then I go to the casino.
See, I got bored.
I didn't get bored. I went to sports trivia. I went to a show. We had dinner.
It just seems like forced entertainment to me.
It is forced. It is.
And you have to like, is it true? There's like always like one night you have to get fancy dressed up too.
It's Captain's Night or something.
Too.
I don't think so.
This place, like, I sent y'all a picture, like 400 yards from where our hotel was the docks, and there was 3 to 5 boats every day, like fully dependent on people coming off and getting their Aruba trinket. I've been to Aruba t-shirt, and then they get back on.
Hell yeah.
So,
well, I swear to God, some of the shows that were on the boat, I'd rather watch the fucking robots at Chuck E. Cheese.
Wow.
Those things sucked.
That's aggressive. That's aggressive.
That's saying something for Chuck E. Cheese, though, too.
I mean,
Ricochet's
I need the fifth picture of bear to slice.
That pizza was delicious.
I used to hate it when I was a kid. When I took my kids, I always thought the Chuck E. Cheese pizza was kind of on point, man.
I loved it when
you don't really get carry out from Chuck E. Cheese.
No.
You got to go there.
My favorite thing about the cruise was, so we got the all-inclusive. So we got this hoity-toity wristband that was like flowery colors or something, and it basically meant anywhere I went, like they just handed me a drink. And back then I was drinking Bud Lights and whatever fruity shit you could put in my mouth. So the first day, there was no banana Dax, but the first day, get on the thing. You're in port, Cape Canaveral. You're not going for a little while. You got to go talk and hear the safety spiel and whatever, and then you can go do whatever the heck you want. The person that I was with turns to me and says, "We have all inclusive, so you don't have to pay for a thing." That doesn't mean that's not going to stop the crew from coming over and saying, "Hey, do you want a bucket of Bud Light and a big fruity drink?" And they're going to do it. And you don't have to. You just can go get the bucket of Bud Light right at the bar with your thing, and you don't have to do a thing. Tips included, the whole nine. You literally just go up and grab it. I'm like, this is awesome. So we go back down, get fancied up. And by fancy, I mean, I think I changed out of my sneakers and put my sandals on. Went back upstairs to the Lido deck to the first bar. This guy comes over, catches eyes with me. He's selling big, tall, fruity drinks and buckets of Bud Light. I'm like, how much? He's like, $47. I give him, whip off $60. I give him $60. I'm like, keep it. We're on vacation. Let's roll. I roll over to the bar to meet my person that I went with, and she looks at me and goes,
"What was his name?"
She looks at me and goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "What? He had buckets and he just handed one to me and I just paid for it." She goes, "We have all inclusive. Don't spend your money." I said, "Fuck you, bitch." No.
Never more accurate words.
So I got had. but I was so excited to go on a cruise.
How did which way did you get had? By the beer or by
The
the?
fact that I didn't have to pay, and I ended up paying $60.
You got had by the broad later.
That's what I was getting at. Kind of got had.
Speaking of tow trucks,
What was the tag number? All right, never mind.
all right. Well, there's some sports stories on here, but I don't want to get that because we're on a roll.
Can we skip to the bottom and work our way back up?
We're on a
Yeah,
roll
let's just
here.
go top to bottom. I don't give a shit.
I know.
No, we're going to the bottom. We're going number 8. We're going number 8. JJ had something happen this week.
Please
Locks had a long story. I had a long story. Yeah, you just need to tell us about
It's not a long story. We've always
sample fries.
Sample fries.
Never.
This could actually
enlighten the audience.
This could change the world.
It can.
Okay.
It's changed my world.
You know how we always talk about fast food, and we all agree
Really
the only
just
reliable
Taco Bell.
fries are McDonald's and Chick-fil-A's waffles.
Guaranteed.
Right?
Yep.
They never screw up. You're always good.
Yep.
A couple weeks ago, I was craving a Whopper.
I think I planted the seed for you. Remember?
You did.
Yeah.
You absolutely
Was it
did.
one of those commercials?
This is why I've got to give you credit.
Say that's what I'm here for.
So
BK.
anyway, I'm getting the meal, giving the Whopper meal, and I said, "Yeah, I want 2 sample fries." And they're like, "What?" They're like, "Yes."
It's like record scratch
At the window, right? At the window.
Huh?
At the window, or while you're ordering?
While I'm ordering. She goes,
inside.
what do you mean 2 sample fries? I said, I tell you what, just put an order of fries in, and I'll be right up there. So anyway, I said, okay, give me 2 fries. And she's like, excuse me? I said, give me 2 fries. So I get 2 fries, and she goes, why are you doing this? Because I said, if these fries suck, take them out of the bag and deduct them. I don't want fries because you're too inconsistent. Like,
Nice.
Sir, we can't do that. Like, you can take them out of the bag and you can deduct it off the bill because your fries are inconsistent and they always suck. So I got 2 sample fries.
Tell me they sucked.
No, they were good. I said, compliments to the chef. You can keep them in the bag.
You can keep them in the bag.
So I suggest everyone does this. So they go to a place that's questionable on the fries, ask for 2 sample fries.
Have you done this since then?
I have not been back to a burger place for fast food, but it will be done.
I need a full report if the fries come back bad. I want to know how that scene works out.
I tell you what,
take this back, and instead I'll have a senior coffee.
Right. I tell you what, I'll do Wendy's tomorrow.
You don't have to on my part, but I want to.
No, you do for the show.
You can.
This is science.
Can you go in your Wendy's? We can. All our Wendy's are locked down.
No, but I did Burger King with the drive-through.
You went to the drive-through for this? I thought you were talking about you're inside.
No, I went to the drive-through.
Holy shit!
I want to go to Taco Bell and ask, because sometimes, you get a bean burrito. Sometimes the beans are old and they're like a little crusty. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go get a sample, either tortilla shell or sample beans.
Or they put all the red sauce on at the bottom.
I know.
They don't,
I like
they don't spread it out. Yeah.
Extra red sauce, no onions.
Oh.
I want to be bleeding. I want to be like dripping.
Oh, I had a burrito explode on me this weekend. It was bad.
Is that what
right in the car? It was like, oh shit.
Oh, it's good, right?
Yeah, it's great. I was licking my shirt, eating burrito.
If you're at home, it doesn't matter.
No, but I was driving, and I had to go to Target and get a bunch of Easter
What's the worst fast food for driving? Is it Taco Bell?
I think the best is Wendy's. It's just always
because
I think they take all their burgers, they smash them before they give them to you.
Yeah,
so
that's
you can't
fair.
then go anywhere. But like Burger King can slide. McDonald's only certain you can't eat a Big Mac and drive.
No, I did the other day. It was atrocious. It was the worst thing ever.
I get the
Big Macs are
pounder
rough, right?
Quarter pounder if you're driving.
I got to be sitting for the Taco Bell too.
Yeah, you can't do.
Has your Taco Bell? Remember the thing I showed you? Have they had the holder on your wrappers? Like, remember I showed you?
No, they ain't gonna.
Actually, I went the other day and I got 3 different kinds of burritos. So I don't know.
Oh wow,
you
adventurous.
Well, I went like the beefy 5-layer burrito, which I like, and then They had some else, a bean burrito, and then they had some chicken thing burrito.
Fried chicken is not easy to do driving either.
Like a whole bucket, or what are we talking about?
Well, it depends
the
on
double
how hungry
stacker.
I am. No, if you do get like a chicken leg, like
like
Popeye,
the bucket,
you get a chicken leg,
drive with your leg,
and you get the mashed potatoes. You got to open the mashed potatoes to dip the leg in the mashed potatoes while you're driving. Try to get rid of two things at once. The crap gets all over you. Yeah, that's dangerous.
You just go through the car wash with your top down in the Jeep, right? When you're done.
Yeah.
Have you seen that the Kentucky Fried Chicken does have the double stack back in action?
Oh yeah.
I had it when it originally. I'll never do that again. I'll never. I mean, it's nap time after that, and you feel like a horrible person after you eat that.
Well,
good.
More than you already feel like now.
I've grown since then. It's been 10 years. Grown. Gained lots
I've matured. So sample fries. So if you go to McDonald's, Wendy's, Steak and Shake, Checkers,
I don't think I have the balls to pull it off.
Sample fries. Why not?
I definitely don't. But that's awesome. That you have someone like JJ
are
in our
the
world.
Customer. You've got to like what you buy.
Reading this over text message had me. I had to pull over. I was like, "What is he talking about?" Because Casey, you know how he does. He won't notice.
Talks in code sometimes.
He does.
Yeah, I do. I talk in stroke code.
Well, you don't notice. Your spell check gets you every once in a while, and we're like,
or you're doing voice to text or something. Yeah. Like my wife does it too, and I'm like, "Yep, babe, no idea what you
missed." No, you were right. Sample fry.
Yeah, I missed completely. I was like, I have no idea what this says.
I asked for a couple fries out of my bag. They sucked. I wanted them out. Get them out.
Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. Speaking of tremendous, did you guys watch the Masters this weekend?
Oof.
Yeah.
All of it.
It was. What did you think? Did you like it? It was
boring.
There was about a 30-minute period like Sunday afternoon where it seemed like everybody started making shots, like birdies were going in, and then it just went flat again. I was like,
go ahead.
If it extended for Hovland or Mickelson or Spieth, like if they had more holes, it may have been. That's how I felt. Like, especially Spieth and Mickelson, because they were making such a charge down the stretch. But then it was like finished.
Yeah.
-7 over.
Yeah. I think Koepka was so checked out because of Cantlay in front of him going so incredibly slow.
Was he known for that?
Yeah.
He's super methodical and Hovland is a pretty fast player. There's video of like Hovland on 13 chipping and Cantlay is still in the fairway on the other side of the creek because he's just like, fuck this guy. I can't take it anymore. But you're stuck to it. There's nothing you can do. So
it wasn't the the 4 players in the top 5 were on live. Is that
3 out of the top 6?
3 out of the top 6 were live players. I was like, that's bad.
Yeah, that's big for live. But there's also a big sentiment too for Brooks Koepka. He had a pretty good press conference early in the week saying if he had felt better like he had been feeling last week, he would have had a hard time going to live. He wouldn't have gone.
Excuses.
I mean, it's hard to pass up $100 million when you're injured.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't blame any of these.
But if you're a guy that's got 4 majors and you get $100 million given to you, but you're in the hunt every time, you might hang around. I mean, if he would have won, he would have won $3.8 million. That's what Rahm won. Rahm this year has won $13 million.
It's not 100.
It's April.
Not 100.
I know, agreed, but it's also not blood money. So.
Yeah, that's very true too. We won't go into those details, but I enjoyed.
Would you like to count how many African American members there are at Augusta?
I enjoyed the Sunday all day. I enjoyed the fact that at 8:30 it started in the morning, and I could wake up and I turned it on and watched the end of round 3. And then at 1:30 or so, 2 o'clock, then everybody else was teeing off. So it was and then for Easter dinner, went to a neighbor's and had a nice meal while the Masters was on. So that aspect of it, I did enjoy. And the fact that I'm just a fringe golf watcher on Master Sundays, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Phil made it exciting at the end. I mean, he really did.
Speed for me.
Yeah, I was just. Hey, does Mickelson look like he has about 5 tapeworms in him?
Well, he's making an effort to trim down. Yeah, definitely. He's trying to. So he's really worked at it.
He has for a while.
Yeah, for a while now. You look back pictures about 3 years ago, he was.
Yeah, but he actually looks unhealthy.
He's not. No, I mean he's 52, something like that, trying to keep his muscles toned, trying to he hits at 350. You could run 350 yards. He hits it that far.
I can't drive 350 yards.
So it was a good kind of goodwill tour for him too, I think, and he had a good press conference. He had good things to say about John Rahm. He was really in the dumps. I mean, did you hear the reports at the Champion Center? He sat down at the end of the table and didn't speak to anybody.
Who?
Mickelson did?
Yes.
He's live too, isn't he?
He's the first live person.
He's 250 million live.
And rumor has it he had to take that money because of gambling debt that he owed.
Yeah.
Rumor has it. Ooh, rumor has it.
So he can't give it back because he already gave it to someone else.
Yeah. He doesn't have to.
Can you send it to this count at the Mirage?
I mean, when you see a professional athlete sell their private jet, something's going on. You don't hear about that very often, do you?
Speaking of private jets,
PJs.
Aaron Rodgers is still not a Jet.
I see
What's the deal with Aaron Rodgers?
Why are we on Aaron Rodgers? Who cares about Aaron Rodgers?
Because it's the only football soap opera.
And I think it's a soap opera because people make it one. The media makes it one. Like, it's like, who gives a shit about this guy? Like, fuck.
Speaking of the media making it one, do you care about LSU Iowa controversy? All at once, boys. No.
I don't. Hey, both players did it. Don't care. It's equal.
I got nothing.
Speaking of I got nothing, your brackets. You had nothing. The three of us. We won nothing.
We had nothing. We sucked.
Terrible.
Speaking of terrible, how about the Oakland A's and the Tampa Bay Rays opening opponents for the baseball season?
They were the Rays in Detroit opened up.
Yep, Rays in Detroit, Rays in Oakland. Now their Rays are 10-0.
Right, Rays are 10-0.
I was trying with the segue with terrible.
No, I get it. A's,
Rays, on a roll. Comedy and Reese.
I love these rolls. Rays Comedy are 10-0.
I haven't seen a baseball highlight yet.
That's the real money ball.
That's because we didn't do the baseball preview yet, probably.
Right.
You're not fired up for it.
However, did you see the Orioles' new home run celebration?
No.
I think you sent it to me, but I didn't look at it.
Whatever it's a beer bong, but obviously not filling it up with beer. But you gotta do a beer bong or whatever liquid they're pouring in there. That's kind of cool.
What is it?
Well, I imagine Gatorade or something. Yeah.
Could you imagine chugging a big fat Gatorade after you hit a home run?
Well, no. I think it's one of those cups. It's just the way it is.
It's not like
That's pretty cool though.
And it's the Orioles. You think you're gonna hit a bunch of home runs anyway?
Hey, shit. They weren't bad last year.
No, they're 500 right now.
Their catcher's really good, isn't he?
He's
like a
stud.
Yeah, well,
Crutchman, is it? No,
something. Yeah.
Who was that catcher they had that used to play for Georgia Tech? That his nickname was God.
Veritek?
No.
This catcher from Georgia Tech. They get it to me.
Matt Wieters.
Matt. Yeah, he was supposed to be the next great up and coming thing, and he busted.
He had a decent career. He just couldn't hit at the end. But I saw him in college.
Yeah.
He hit a ball in Jacksonville. Remember, I used to come to Savannah and then drive to Jacksonville for the ACC tournament.
I went with you one time.
Yeah, and then I watched him play a 16-inning game against Clemson with a 3-hour rain delay. Didn't end till about 2:15 in the morning. He hit 6 home runs that day. Not all against Clemson. There was a semifinal in the. He had 6 home runs that day, 3 against Clemson. Yeah, every time he came up, like my body started going into convulsions. I knew the players. I used to. They worked for me when I was working at Clemson. Worked for me. They came in for hours.
So Adley Rutschman is this guy's name.
Rutschman, yeah. He went to Oregon State.
That's what it is. Okay.
At least the uniforms didn't change that much.
Not much at all, actually.
Yeah. Hey,
shout out to Mike Kane, because we haven't shouted out Mike Kane in a while.
Because he doesn't listen to us anymore.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Hey, shout out to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Right? Yeah, Brew Crew.
Yeah, Brewers. See, with all these rule changes now in the MLB, it's actually one of the beautiful things about JJ and I love Dan Le Batard, but they have this guy Billy Gill on there that's saying now that the game's too fast.
It's fast, isn't it? Like 2 hours. Didn't you say, Jeff? It was 2 hours and 1 minute?
Last night's Rays game was 2 hours and 8 minutes, 1-0.
That's wild. That's wild.
So the Brewers now have extended beer sales to the 8th inning because it used to be the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I did bring it up, and I was saying it jokingly, but you start thinking about it, it might be true. They're losing money because the game's so fast.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, 3 hours and 15 minutes, 3 hours and 20 minutes. Your 7th inning is usually about 2 hours into it, 2:15, so people can get a couple 2.436 beers.
So now they're only like
now at 2:08. At 2:08, they're not getting 36 beers in; they're getting 2.
Right.
So they're probably losing money because the game's too fast.
How about a doubleheader? What do you think? Over under 4.5 hours for a doubleheader these days? And that would be a normal game.
Are you talking about the break in between?
Well, how quick are they going to be able to run a doubleheader off? It might, day-night doubleheader. You can just do a day doubleheader. Get all during the day.
They used to.
Absolutely.
It's crazy how quick it's going, man. I mean,
it'd be like a Yankees-Red Sox game.
I still don't even know the rules on the pitch clock, but it's really doing.
Oh, here you go. I got them right here. Wild. This is it. Bases are empty. Pitcher's got 15 seconds.
15, right? So, okay.
If runners run, it's 20.
And then, then the batter gets to do what? They get to step out once?
8 seconds?
8 or 10 seconds. Yeah, he gets 8 or 10 seconds.
To get into the box.
Yeah, to get it kind of adjusted and,
and ready to go.
And then the pitch clock starts.
Right.
And then after the pitch, he gets another 8 to 10 seconds? I don't think so.
No, I think it's during. Like, he has to be in the box, can do whatever he wants. No more Garcia Parra, whatever he wants to do with his stuff. But he gets 8 seconds, and then the pitcher gets the rest. Whatever's left. I don't know. I can't
see. Yeah, I'm not sure either. It's moving. I mean, I've seen the coverage after games. They're kind of like, okay, well,
we weren't prepared because we.
They're like,
for an hour and 52 minutes.
When you think about the TV, I mean, it's what's Sunday Night Baseball at 8 o'clock. That usually gets over like 11 something or 11:30.
But
Sunday night, I was watching the Padres and Braves the other night, and it was. I go to bed. I go into the bedroom at 10. That's just what I do, and I was literally like at 10:06. It was over.
Yeah, it's like I missed it all. It becomes like 7th inning.
Cubs Mariners went to extra innings,
and that was a 10-2.
And it was 10.5. It was 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's too fast.
They went 11. It went 11 innings. I'm like, what the hell? What?
Hey, I mean, they're picking up the pace. They're making it safer so people get their heads plowed in by foul balls. It's America's dream.
Tell old Neil Cruz that they're making it safer.
Who's that?
He's the shortstop, the up-and-coming shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates that slid into home yesterday against the White Sox and broke his ankle.
Well, I mean,
he didn't get belted in the head with a ball.
He's the one who throws it like 106 from
shortstop.
Yeah. It's like, what the heck? I mean,
whose fault is that?
I think it's a bang baseball play. Be honest,
don't you slide to the back to the bottom of home plate and try and hit it with your hand, or like he came in, his heel right to the corner, top left corner of the plate, and the catcher's already there, planted.
Well, the catcher's going for the ball too.
And the rule is to protect the catcher, not the runner.
Wasn't there the Buster Posey rule that when he got blasted out?
Yeah, fucked him up pretty good too.
You have to try to avoid it.
Yeah, try to avoid it, and it looks like they didn't, and that's what cleared the benches.
Well, he started talking trash while the dude's ankle was on backwards.
That's true too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a good look when you're like basically pointing at the dude when his ankle's over here and it should be over here.
Tough look.
Yeah, it's a bad look.
Not a lot of sympathy.
You can't really walk on that,
Yeah, tough to go. Yeah.
Rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, it literally is already dirty.
Oh wait, never mind.
Wrong show. Oh no, it's the right show.
It's the right show.
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
What else? What else we got? JJ and I taking a little bit of a road trip.
I'm gonna try to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get up there and start heading my ass over.
If
What's
you
the
do, you
plans?
do. If you don't, you don't. But I'll be there in Starkville, Mississippi, taking the JJ and Beef show on the road, which should be entertaining.
What could happen?
What's the grand plan here? The scheme?
So I'm going over to check in on the stepson and make sure he's doing all right to the end of the semester. Kind of rough him up a little bit, and also, by the way, just so happened
You know you're coming.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just so happens to know Mississippi State Baseball Stadium, the Duty Noble Field, which is known colloquially as the Dude. I've always wanted to go there. It's unbelievable. It's a mecca of college baseball. They just so happen to have a 3-game series against Ole Miss this weekend.
Oh, nice!
Battle for the state.
Worked out
get
just
tickets
crazy.
to that? I would imagine that's a popular ticket, huh?
It's a standing room only facility. Well, not facility, but you can't get tickets for.
Yeah.
You can't get tickets, so it's standing room only, and they're available.
Yeah.
$22, I think, a piece to stand and walk around that place. But wait till you see it, JJ. In the outfield, everyone has grills, and they just it's amazing. It's a really cool spot. So I'm excited about going there, and they have their spring football game. So if you thought I was going to go to the Clemson spring football game, you'd be wrong. I'm going to Mississippi State spring football game, and their brand new head coach.
The guy who took over last year.
The guy who took over for Mike Lee.
Houston Nutt.
Houston Nutt's going to take over both Mississippi schools.
Is it Dan Mullen? I don't know who it is.
No, not Dan Mullen. Dan Mullen was there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I bet you he'd take that job back if he could.
Before Joe Moorhead, before Mike Leach, rest in peace, before the new guy. So anyway.
I miss Mike Leach already.
And there's a concert this weekend. It's apparently called Bulldog Weekend. So we're staying in a roach-infested motel.
JJ, just start off from the get-go. Bring the bug spray with you from Tampa.
It's already done. It's already done.
It is a chain, though. I won't put them on blast unless it's really bad next week.
Well, we're going to endorse the shit out of them next week's show.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's usually one of those that's has a Waffle House or an IHOP attached to it. But
yes. How is this working? So you're traveling from here, and JJ's kind of doing this, and we're each other.
I'm actually traveling from Green Vegas, Sparkle City.
Today's Tuesday. Oh, good Lord!
I still have to work tomorrow.
Thursday.
I'm gonna leave Friday morning.
What's the distance for you, Jeff?
About 645.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, 645 miles.
You can't kind of go by as the crow flies.
425 miles of it's fucking Florida.
Water in the way. Yeah.
Shit.
It's a good trip though. It's a fun ride.
What's it from Greenville? Case is that?
It'll be about 7.5
from
hours.
Greenville. Good.
Yeah, it doesn't do much.
Because
I still have to go to Atlanta, so it cuts out the riffraff of 16, but it doesn't cut out the riffraff. So.
And then I'll go see a customer up in Tennessee, and then cool. Maybe a couple others, and just kind of,
Yeah.
Might as well. It's funny. I was when the boys were here for spring break. I was telling them I was going to go the following weekend. It became a joke because apparently I was inebriated, and told them on more than one occasion within a 15-20 minute period that I was going to go see a baseball game. So I endeared myself to Jake and his friends pretty early.
Have you seen my baseball?
But I was going to go, and it was South Carolina weekend. Thank God it's not those assholes, though.
Oh, God.
I am going to wear my Ole Miss hat, though.
Oh, boy.
That'll ingrain myself.
We'll see what happens.
Tough look. How was the kids he's hanging with? Young studious children or party animals or both?
I think a little bit of both.
Yeah.
They're assholes. They're college kids.
Okay, just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
What were you like?
An asshole.
Dipshit.
You know what's funny though? It is funny. Like the first day they come in, right? And it was Saturday afternoon. We go and watch the band on Saturday afternoon. And you were there with me.
You was there. You remember?
So they came in late, and so I was already 35 Bold Rocks in, and we get home, and my wife cooks some dinner, and afterwards, they're starting to wash the dish, and of course, my wife's like, "No, you guys don't have to do that. I'll do it tonight." Did they try to wash a dish again the next night? The entire week. But they weren't messy. They really weren't. They were great with my kids, so it was a good. They were nice kids. Nice kids. Good. I can't believe I'm that parent, right? And I felt like I was Big Dan and Carr when these kids came home. Just
buying them booze.
Oh, we didn't buy them things. They came back with a huge cooler. I mean, huge. One of the biggest coolers I've ever seen, just filled to the rim with cans. I think they were able to get 128 cans into this cooler.
That they took with them?
They brought it with. They brought it with them.
Did they get the 99 pack of PBR?
Right? Yeah, like on their shoulder.
No, but they also had like a case of mini Fireball.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ice on top of it.
Is that the bucket?
Yeah,
they had these little ones. I don't know, man. And they pulled it out like, "Oh, you've already had your 4." I'm like, "It's 11 o'clock, boys."
Yeah.
And it's Tuesday. Yeah. But where I live, this isn't exactly the best spring break spot, but they had fun. They made it work.
Good.
Well, trip. Yeah, they probably got the scrap buyers down at the damn bar.
They didn't. They didn't go to any bars.
Plus.
They could have probably and been just fine.
Probably.
You could have just
what
said,
else we got? We got anything to piss you off today, JJ?
Yeah. How about anything off of TikTok in the past minute?
I need something.
You mean getting my car towed in the middle of the night wasn't enough to piss me off?
No, we led with that.
We have any pictures?
We have
do you have any pictures from Palk or anything like that?
Of course I have pictures of Palk. God, I got to experience the whole fucking Little League of Texas, for Christ's